Another basketball game where Carolina was dominated from the beginning to the end. Let's talk about it.
You don't want none! You don't want none!
What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? It is your favorite North Carolinian, Russ, the Tar Heel. And in this huddle, baby, we're going to talk about the 94-79 ass whooping that the Heels just suffered at the hands of the Alabama Crimson Tide in the Dean Dome. And before we get into the details of this game, man, I just wanted to bring up just something that is just so fascinating to me when it comes to Carolina, especially as far as basketball is concerned. The Atlantic Coast Conference in general. I was talking to the guys a little bit earlier today about, yesterday the ACC SEC Challenge started, and it's been an absolute massacre. An absolute massacre. The SEC went up 9-1 yesterday, and then today it's not looking any better. Carolina got blown out by stinking Alabama at home. Florida blew out Virginia. Right now, I'm sitting here looking at the scoreboard. Vanderbilt's beating Virginia Tech at the Castle. NC State's losing to Texas. And Pittsburgh, number 18 Pittsburgh, is getting mollywopped by Mississippi State down in Mississippi. Like, what happened to the Atlantic Coast Conference, man? Like, this used to be the pinnacle of basketball. And it's so crazy because as I was growing up, the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, man, especially in the 2000s, I felt like it was almost a daggum heyday. And my, how the mighty have fallen, dude. I mean, it's just some of these games are not even competitive, i.e. my stinking boys in Carolina Blue. And Carolina drops to 4-4 after getting whooped at the house, and it wasn't close from the onset, man. One of the things I felt, I'm not going to lie, Tar Heel Nation, and this is just an immediate reaction. There was a lack of hope that Carolina would be able to win this basketball game very early. It didn't take long for me to kind of see what I was seeing with my own eyes, that it almost seemed like Carolina just lacked the firepower. They didn't have the horses, bro. And that right there is depressing, because it's not like it's not one of those things where you're like, well, we can clean up a couple of things and maybe it'll be okay once we clean some things up. No, it feels like we don't have the horses right now. And we'll talk about this in a little bit. RJ is just shooting a ton of shots at a very low percentage. Our second best scorer right now is basically coming off the bench. So he's getting not as much burn as maybe you would usually have from your second leading scorer. At least the guy that can generate probably the most offense right now, without shooting 30 shots like RJ, and that would be Ian Jackson. But he's still a young guy, and there's going to be mistakes made along the way. But, getting into this box score real quick, 94-79 Alabama. Alabama moves to 7-2. Carolina moves to 4-4, man. And, their starting five had Mark Sears had 20, shot 50% from the floor. LeBaron Falone, I guess that's how you pronounce the kid's name, man. I apologize if I got that wrong. But he had 15. Cliff O had 11. Grant Nelson was kind of held in check a little bit today, but he still finished in double figures with 10 points and 9 rebounds. And then Jaron Stevenson had 6 points. But they also got 15 points off the bench from Aiden Holloway and 11 points from Darion Reed. 94 points scored against Carolina, in the Dean E. Smith Center is just unbelievable. Here's Carolina starting five. They went with RJ, Seth, Elliott, Drake, and Jalen. So Jalen still started at the 5. Another really bad game. 1 for 5 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3, 1 for 2 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, and 3 points. It's not going to cut it, man. I'm really starting to wonder, why are you in the basketball game, especially in the starting five, bro? I don't get it. I don't see it. I don't understand it. I think there's been multiple games where you can see that the guy that's coming off the bench for Carolina, Vin Allen Lubin, he shot 3 for 4 from the field, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, had 4 rebounds and 8 points. And I'm not saying that Vin Allen Lubin is just like some drastic step up in talent, but what I'm saying is, at least when he comes in the game, there is some type of production. And I really think that Jalen Washington is struggling right now with his confidence. Like his confidence is at an all-time low. Drake got the start, went 3 for 5 from the field, finished with 6 points, did not really have a big monster game. And then Elliot Cadeau, man. Elliot Cadeau, this is going to kill us. It really is. It's going to kill us, man. He had 1 point, 0 for 4 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3, 1 for 3 from the free throw line. He had 6 boards, 4 assists, and 4 turnovers. Elliot Cadeau's assist to turnover ratio over the course of the last 3-4 games has been really bad. I mean, numbers to where, if he wasn't Elliot Cadeau, you'd have to really start talking about sitting him on the bench. If I had those numbers, I wouldn't be playing. 1 point with a 1-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. He has got to clean that up. He has got to be better for this team. He had a really bad game today against the Crimson Tide. Seth Trimble went 4 for 13. That's 29% from the field, 1 for 4 from 3, 3 for 4 from the free throw line. He scored 12 points and had 4 rebounds. And then once again, RJ Davis, had 18 points. But my guy was 7 for 24 from the field, bro. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. I mean, just shooting the ball at a high volume, and he's shooting less than 30% from the field. He went 1 for 11 from 3. It's bad. It's bad. He had 4 assists and 3 turnovers. So once again, less than 2-to-1, which is kind of what I've always been taught is the standard for a point guard or a shooting guard. Carolina didn't get much off the bench, man. Like I said, Vin Allen Lubin scored 8. Ty Cloud scored 6. And, Jalen Withers scored 2. And I digress because Ian Jackson had 23. He led all scorers. Now, Ian was 10 for 17 from the field, 3 for 5 from 3, and he scored 23 points. He might be Carolina's best offensive player at this point, with RJ shooting at such a just terrible percentage, man. And it might be one of those things, man, where Ian and Drake have got to be inserted into the lineup, dude. I mean, and I'm talking about the starting lineup, because we're just not getting the production that we need from some of these guys, man, especially Jalen Washington. I just do not understand why he continues to be inserted there at the 5, and we keep getting these really bad outings from him, man. Carolina shot 41% from the field, 18% from 3, only 62.5% from the charity stripe. Bad numbers, man. Alabama shot 49.3% from the field, 36.4% from 3, and 92.3% from the charity stripe, although Carolina was +2 on the glass, 42-40, man. Once again, a lot of turnovers. Carolina had 13 turnovers. That's way too many. And, it's just, it's a constant recipe for disaster. And about the only saving grace is that you can really say to yourself, like, I mean, yeah, Carolina's 4 losses are basically the top 25 teams. You got Kansas at 1, Auburn at 2, Alabama at 10, and Michigan State's right now number 26. They were just outside the top 25. So, I mean, they're not losing to bums, but at the same time, man, like, they got no Q1 wins right now. And so Carolina's got a game against Georgia Tech coming up, man, December 7th. And it'll be the opener, the ACC opener. And, so it should be a drop in talent. There's no reason why Carolina shouldn't, win that daggone basketball game. But I mean, we got to clean some things up, man. We got to stink and clean some things up, and I think that it starts with lineup, man. I think it starts with lineup. I think you go with EC, RJ, and Seth, but I think that if RJ is struggling, man, you got to stink and sit him down. I don't care if he's a super senior, and maybe let Ian run some 2 and 3. Get some guys on there. They're going to shoot and be a little bit more efficient with their shots because if RJ's just constantly jacking shots, man, and we can't get rebounds, those are wasted possessions. And next thing you know, you're losing by 15 at your house. So we've got to stink and clean some things up. The high ball screen defense is just atrocious. I was telling the guys, whatever happened with hedging at the top, so that the guard can basically come underneath and pick that guy back up while your big man drops back to kind of thwart just being able to get into the lane by these guards. I'm seeing really bad defense. Teams are hitting open threes. We're not hitting our open threes. And it really does feel like right now, man, that we just don't have the guns, bro, especially with RJ struggling the way that he has been. And if he doesn't get it together, this could very well be a very long season. The ACC's up for grabs. That's about the only good thing, but what does that really say? Because I think we're seeing that the ACC is extremely down this year. Extremely down. So really bad loss, man. Really didn't look good. About the only thing awesome about this game was Carolina's stinking throwback unis. And they did not do them any service. MJ would be daggum ashamed if he wasn't in the house. But 94-79, man. You guys let me know what you think about this game down in the comment section, bro. It was ugly, disgusting. It was a long day. I get to come home and watch a long game that makes me think it's going to be a long season. And somebody give me something to be positive about, man. Only thing I can think of is December 7th starts ACC play and the ACC's down. So like I said, leave that down in the comment section for me, Tar Heel Nation and Crimson Tide Nation. Like, share, subscribe to the channel, man. And I appreciate everybody hanging out for a little bit in the live reaction watch party. I love you guys, man. We'll get through it, win, lose, or draw together, because that's what daggum Tar Heels do. And catch you on the next one, Tar Heel Nation.